Hello, everybody. This is Charlene Burke with Grow Because You Know. That's www.growbecauseyouknow.com. Welcome to Morning Mindset Cafe. We're talking about Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. More specifically, today, we're talking about how poverty and riches begin with thought. That is the premise that I'm putting out there based on the principles of Napoleon Hill, the principles for success. All of this begins with the thought. Then we add faith, desire, imagination, and persistence. I got this reminder this weekend, quite honestly. And where the reminder came in was we were on an upswing, on a moving up. My husband was. Financially, it looked good in that we're on an upswing. Then we hit a speed bump. And initially, I felt like, really? Again? Oy. No, I'm tired of this. And I turned it around and said, wait a minute. This isn't permanent. It's just a little speed bump. What's gotten me to this point? And what's gotten me to this point is that I had the thought that got centered on something very, very specific of what I'm working towards. Very specific. So I got my thought back to that. And then I reminded myself, well, what did I do to get to this point? To get myself out of that survival mode, get myself into action and moving forward. And I relaxed and I said, well, all the things I did that morning, Saturday morning and Sunday morning and this morning, which is upon awakening, I said, hey, God, thank you. Good to be here. Glad to be here. I had a little bit of meditation time, some quiet time. I read aloud my major definite purpose, that which I'm working towards. So I continued with the routine. I was persistent in spite of not wanting to do it at times. This is what I was remembering. It didn't matter if I wanted to be here or not. I'm still here, right? I committed. Therefore, I'm doing it every morning. So I did that. And again, it quickly replaced the thought of, goodness, not again, another speed bump with, well, yeah, that's the way roads are made. Just because we laid down the asphalt for the road doesn't mean that it's going to be smooth all the way through. It can't. There are other people involved. There is a world that I live in. There's environmental issues. Issues went from 59 degrees one day to 20 the next. Snow, ice. It's like, ugh. Well, that put a kibosh on something we were going to do outside. Shrug it off because I can't control that. Shrug it off because that's not under my control. So what happened is that I was brought back to the state of mind that what is under my control? Well, my actions and my thoughts. And at the moment, I can continue with my morning routine. And this is now looking back because, see, it happened that quickly. And the weekend moved along, both days, very active days, towards something specific. Did a little bit of business, did a little bit of relaxing, did a little bit of reading, did a little bit of the stuff that I like to do. And so this morning, I'm not feeling like I'm up against a wall. I'm not. It's just a little speed bump. And it's because very definite and clear on what I'm working towards. I have faith. I have faith in myself. I have faith in what I'm working towards, that it is something quality, that it is providing the best quality service that I can render, and that it is a valuable offering to others. Of course, I have the desire because it's something I really believe in. My imagination was fired up when I was working with other people about what else I could do, how I could flesh it out, and it could be better than what I initially thought. Thank goodness for masterminds and mastermind groups. And then my persistence. Been working towards it every day in some way. And when hit with the speed bump, take the moment to recognize it as a speed bump. That's all it is. Slow down for a moment, take a look, and just continue doing what I know needs to be done. And it's with a different mindset and a different heart than what it was this time last year. So I invite anybody who wants to jump in and talk about stuff like that. That poverty and riches begin with thought. Now, directly related to that, I can tell you, I've been broke. Broke is fixable. Poverty is a state of mind. Broke is temporary. Broke is, there's nothing in the bank account for the fun stuff. Well, we can change that, and we do. I do. Now, poverty is lack. And complete lack, and the idea that there will always be lack, and that there is no hope, and that I can't get out of this. I will always be in the lower class when it comes to money. I will always be without, and I'll just settle for being without. Poverty is a lot of emptiness. My thoughts. Those are my thoughts. Anybody in the room is welcome to jump in and share your thoughts. Good morning, Christian. Good to see you. Hi, Barbara. Welcome. And welcome to Blab. It appears you're pretty new to Blab. Marcia, nice to have you here. Oh, yeah, William. Oh, so good to see you. It's been a while since I've seen you. I hope you're well.
As my 3-year-old daughter would say, no way, Hosey.
Good morning, Brian.
She could never get the Jose, so she goes, no way, Hosey.
Yeah, that'll work. Well, you know, she's 3. Come on.
She was. Now she's not, and I wish I could knock her back to 3.
Oh, yeah.
Hate it when they grow up. Hate it.
Okay. I can't do a thing about that one, Brian. Can't do a thing except to say, stop the hating and start looking forward to what the woman she's going to become.
She thinks she's already there. Oh,
of course she does.
15.
Of course she does. Yeah, 15 going on 45.
See the gray hair? They're not there.
Exactly. So what do you think of all this?
I just told you. No, I think the mindset has everything to do with it. I wish my mindset would align with what's happening and where I'm at. But regardless, we go on. Look for other ways and other opportunities.
That's right. We just keep going. That's the persistence part. Am I right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, me a little concerned there, Brian. Oh, I hope I'm on target there. Good morning, Tammy. Good to see you, my dear.
It's hard.
Repetition, persistence, positivity.
It's hard to swallow it when you're in.
Yeah.
When you're at the creek bed and you know the storm's coming that's going to swell that creek bed and you're waiting for the flood. And you're trying to climb out, but there's just no way. I got to find that donkey that I can they can pile the dirt on so it can climb up and walk out.
Right. Wishing is futile. Speak life into your life. Nobody wants to hear your pity party laugh out loud. Yeah, we all know what that's like.
Sorry.
Don't we, Brian? You know what he's saying.
Yeah. No.
Yep.
I did speak life into it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love the way Brian's sounding compared to the way he was sounding just a few short months ago. Honestly, I love the way I'm sounding compared to the few short months ago. You know?
Oh,
We're getting there. Come on in, Renee. What do you think about poverty and riches begin with thought? All right, maybe not. All of a sudden, I have no seat there. Okay, well, welcome to Blab. I literally have no extra seat here. I did not lock the seat. Okay, they made changes. They're working in the back. We're in beta. We just roll with it. See, nothing I can do. I can't control this.
Huh.
Now I have a seat.
Well,
Yeah, but Renee popped out, so I don't know if it was. Don't know. Hopefully she can come back. It wasn't me that did that to her. Yes, it's odd, but again, it's Blab, and we're in beta, so we just go with it. Anyway, say welcome, Anthony. Welcome to Blab, and welcome to Morning Mindset Cafe, and that's really the whole point. Now, it all begins with our thoughts. It really does. Even when, I guess not even when, but when the panic mode hits. So here's a for instance. A friend of mine is a chef, Chef Maria. She owns a Greek deli in Louisville. She opened her first restaurant just south of Louisville on January 10th, 2000. And she's had multiple locations throughout the city over the past 16 years. About a month and a half ago, this is roughly, maybe 2 months ago, she found, and through urgings and what have you of all her customers and what have you, she made her way back to a particular location, and she had gone from seated eating, inside dining, to just deli, and then we were all just telling her, you have to have inside seating. And enough people told her that, she finally said, okay, sales aren't where I want them to be. I'm working too hard in these other areas. This is what I'm going to do. She found the spot. She and a small team of people worked hard, physically renovating that spot, doing the painting. She painted chairs. It looked like, when it was done, it was like a Greek, it was like an outdoor Greco where you walked, you had a wall with a mural and you had a greenery inside because she has this green thumb, and Maria's awesome, right? So Sunday at 4 a.m., it's up in flames. And the entire restaurant is gone. I mean, my heart sank. It just, she's 66. She's 66 years old. Heart sank when I saw it. And it was knowing, I've interviewed her. I've known her for, 7.5 years. I met her soon after I had opened my business in 2008. And I know, what I know to be true is that feeding people and cooking for people is Maria's life. It is her life. And she is in shock, and she immediately and I refreshed. I'm back. Can you see me now?
Blab needs some coffee.
That'll work. All right. So anyway, Maria, in her 60s, she's absolutely devastated. This happened Sunday morning. She immediately, all right. So she immediately started spreading the news on social media, and it began with a picture of what the restaurant looks like now. And we all recognize it because there's a couple of chair legs made it through, and trust me, Grecian blue is hard to miss. So we knew what we were looking at. And she was apologizing. Her first into social media was with that picture and apologizing to those who had signed up for the Greek cooking class that she didn't have for the records of who signed up. It was going to be canceled, and she was sorry, but she was going to rebuild, and she was going to be, what she needed you to do now was to know that we're not going to have a cooking class. Those are the first postings, and then she kept posting it because she wanted to make, and this is multiple sites, because she wanted to be sure that her customers and students knew what was going on. Then within a few hours, she started posting that she was devastated. She wasn't sure what she was going to do. And she started sharing with us through social media her heartbreak. And we started rallying around her. That we're heartbroken for you. And that's what she needed. She needed to know that people got it. They understood that this is my livelihood that somebody just torched. Wow. Now, whether it's arson or not, we don't know, but it went up in flames. And so by, late afternoon, yesterday, a GoFundMe account's been opened up. People are donating, and she's going to rebuild. And that's all because that is what she does. She cooks for people. And in the meantime, she's already offering that she has access to a commercial kitchen, and she has catering orders that she's been on the phone getting the reorders because she doesn't have the records. And this woman is going to be cooking in this commercial kitchen, using other people's stuff, buying all the stuff all over again, all the food. She will invest in it so that she can take care of her customers, and she will take care of her catering orders through the next week while she is raising money, dealing with the lease, dealing with whatever insurance she's going to be dealing with, and all that.
I was just going to ask about insurance.
It's how inspiring is that?
It's awesome.
The inspiration is that you can do whatever you want to me. I'm going to keep doing this.
At 66, that's even more.
She's 66. I wrote an article about her called "Challenge is My Middle Name," and this is the way she has tackled. This is one of the people in my circle, right? This is the way she has tackled obstacles. That's one of the things I get from Maria. I don't get how to run a business well. But what I do get from her is that tenacity. I'm reminded again that she has her moment, and she is still heartbroken, but it's not stopping her. She is still moving forward because she will have a restaurant up and running again. How's that for mindset?
Incredible, actually.
Good morning, Ralph.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing this beautiful day?
I am good. Good morning, Paul. Glad to have you with us.
Good morning.
Paul, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Good morning. I'm just.
You're moving around now, so you're in and out on audio.
Okay. How about now? Is this better?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll try to. I just have to.
Nope, it's still flipping in and out.
Let me get adjusted here.
So, Ralph, what do you think?
I love this topic. One of my presentations, I talk about the Chinese bamboo. The Chinese bamboo is a plant that this specific species is a seed you plant. You prepare the soil, you plant it, you water it, and you fertilize it. And after the first year, nothing. The second year, you water it and fertilize it, nothing. The third year, fourth year, and then the fifth year, it sprouts, it emerges. And once it emerges, within 6 weeks' time, it grows 90 feet tall.
Wow.
Yes. And I use that as a metaphor for, you're talking about the obstacles in life and things, and
right.
that faith, that unshakable faith. You think about I love gardening, and I could just see a neighbor people, friends coming over, and I'm out there watering and fertilizing bare ground. And I do this for 5 years. And they go, Ralph, we know you're a little bit.
You're off center.
You're off center. What are you doing? You're watering and fertilizing dirt for 5 years, but having that unstoppable, unshakable faith that this is going to happen. And I can see the person talking about the restaurant opening up and just flourishing.
Well, you'd love Maria. She lives in Louisville, and she's growing her own lemons and pineapple.
Awesome.
In Louisville. And not a professional greenhouse. This is a woman, she has her lemon tree from her family. I mean, she's Greek through and through. A wonderful hugger. She just very open and generous of heart, and just all about people. She just loves people, and she loves to feed you. That's why she's heartbroken. I mean, you can hear her when she does quick videos. She just, she can't wait for cooking class because you're going to eat, and it's wonderful when you eat. So yeah, it's I like that, Ralph. I didn't know about that particular species of bamboo, and when you were first talking, I was reminded of asparagus. Asparagus, I think, takes 3 years before it grows. Once it grows, then it continually goes.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, JP, she does. So hold on, and I'll go grab her GoFundMe link, and Ralph and Brian, keep up the conversation.
Well, it's easy, my mindset is plant seeds carefully, and typically a gardener sees within a couple days results. 3 days to a week, usually seeds start. But when I'm thinking about life lessons, what does nature teach me? And there's times in nature that, yes, there's times in our lives that we can have instant results, gratifying results, but there's times that we just need to be patient, and we need to have that faith to do the things that we want to do. Whether it's start a lab like Charlene, and then how beautiful this has grown, to writing a book, or doing something for the community. Being the president of Habitat for Humanity, sometimes it's a struggle to get all the community on board. But once people start jumping in, then it seems like it grows. But you've got to have that desire, that clarity of knowing what you want, and taking some action, because the bamboo, if you stop watering it and fertilizing it in that time, it doesn't produce, it doesn't grow. So how easy is it for us to give up on our dreams, our goals, when we don't see instant results? And I guess that's the beauty of that story. I just love, just having that unstoppable faith that whatever it is in our lives, if someone dreams of having their own restaurant, opening their own kitchen, whatever that dream in life is, just because it's not materializing today doesn't mean it's not going to materialize. It means that you have to keep watering it, fertilizing it, giving it feed, and having that unstoppable faith that you will accomplish what you want, and have that clear vision.
That's it. And one thing that I've learned as you're talking, I'm reminded, one of the reasons I love Maria is that it's not the end. Getting the restaurant open wasn't the end. It was more than just opening a restaurant. It was being able to feed people. Mm-hmm. And that's becoming more and more clear to me, the importance of what I set my thought on, that it's not my business achieves this particular moment and landing this client. That's the smaller goal, the smaller watering towards the ultimate goal, which is my business achieves a sustainable revenue stream so that I can live this type of life that allows me to work with people in this capacity. So it's the one step. It's the fertilizing step.
I would say, too, be careful what you plant. If you want the instant results, plant seeds that are going to get you the instant results. If you have patience and have the ability to have patience, plant seeds that will last and bring you a return.
Brian, I'm glad you brought that up. I didn't want to go into because I talked 10 minutes on the bamboo, but likewise in our life, in our intimate relationships, think about that. For example, you can plant that seed of if not caring for someone. You can plant a negative seed that grows too. You have a relationship and you're not present with your significant other. And you stay not present with your significant other for years and years, and all of a sudden, it may be that some clothes are on the floor, or it may be that somebody didn't clean the dishes, or whatever it might be, and this blows up to separating that relationship, because of that 5 years or however many years of not being present, not taking care of
years of neglect.
Mm-hmm. You can plant those seeds of negativity. Our minds will grow what we focus on, what we think about, we bring about, and so that bamboo can be something phenomenal, or it can be very destructive. It's up to you.
Uh-huh. I agree. And even while you were talking, what I'm reminded of is that it really isn't the socks, right?
No.
It really isn't the dishes.
No.
It's not. Yeah, it's there's more, and that's on the negative side. There's more, which is that little bit of negativity, as you said, that was planted, and then I watered it and I fertilized it and allowed that to grow so that I was focusing on everything else, all those symptoms,
mm-hmm.
right, of my anger or my lack or my need that wasn't being met. Same thing can apply to the richest part.
And if somebody we're talking about relationships, if somebody has a relationship and it was a very negative relationship, let's say one or the other spouse wasn't loyal to them and it hurt them, and they broke off that relationship and now they want to move on to another.
Mm-hmm.
If they allow that negativity, that unfaithfulness to simmer and simmer
right.
and simmer, how will they ever?
Well, if they don't address their response to it,
correct,
and get themselves fixed, because it's me that I'm bringing to the relationship. It's me I'm bringing to the business. It's me I'm bringing to the customer. It's me I'm bringing to the world, right?
Correct.
So I'm bringing everything in here. And if some of that includes distrust, you're not going to pay me, I know, because you're just like the other business I just did business with, right? That's going to shadow every conversation I have with you as part of what I'm bringing to the table. And yeah, you're right. If I don't recognize it as an issue and needs my attention, I'm going to continue to water it. It'll continue to fester.
And that seed that you don't see immediate results on, that negativity that you don't see immediate results on, one day
right.
can blow up big time in your face.
Well, that's
where did that come from? What happened? I
didn't do this. I didn't do this. Oh, JP, please. I don't know anything about relationships. I don't claim to know. It was just a side note compared to say that that which we plant in our heads, right?
Yes.
My thoughts can lead me where I want to go, or lead me away from where I want to go. And it begins with the thought. Of course, there's more involved. My goodness. How often do I have to say this, my friend Ralph and Brian? How often do I have to say I can sit in a chicken coop all day long and think I'm a chicken, but just thinking about it ain't going to make it happen. Right?
You can cluck.
I can't even squawk right anymore, so because I stopped practicing the squawk. Just thinking about it ain't going to do it. There's just this is that, I can sit here and think, the Powerball is $1.3 billion, all mine. I got it. I have to buy a ticket, but
well,
let's say I bought a ticket. What am I going to do with all this? What am I going to do with all this? What am I going to do with all this? And there I sit. All I did was buy a ticket. Really?
my mindset is I've never purchased a lottery ticket. Never. And I have no desire to. Because you look at the people who've won lottery money, within a few years, most of them are broke.
Oh, I wouldn't be that way. I actually, my husband purchased a ticket, and he asked me, what are we going to do with it? So I gave him the plan. Every dollar has a name, and every dollar has a place. Should that happen. But you know what it is? Let me tell you this, Ralph. Go ahead and buy the ticket, honey. That's what I tell my husband. You just go right ahead, because every dollar has a name and we know where it's going to go, because that's where every dollar that I'm going to make with my business is taking me to. It's the same thing. It's just like, we're going to add some more zeros and do much more with it. All right.
I think it's because of the mindset. People who, sometimes want to get rich quick, they don't have the principles that it takes of someone.
Yeah, they can't handle it.
Yes, I mean, and it's yes. When they get that much, it's like. But
even if they can handle it, so, let's put this out here, right? I can tell you right now, every dollar has a name, and it's not any different. It's just more than what I have planned for as I'm able to invest in my business. Got multi-unit families that I'm able to, and we're going to be rehabbing some things so that we can provide, that, and it's affect the local economy. We're going to have who's going to be employed and why the rehab and what kind of rehab it's going to happen in the housing and who it's going to serve and how it can be an investment with the monies and all of that, and the foundations to align with, because they align with my value systems. And, somewhere in there is the luxury Class C RV that he and I will be living in with the custom garage in the back, and the travels and why we're going to be traveling and who we're going to be communicating with and helping. And then the business will continue because I love what I do. So I just look at all that, which is part of my major definite purpose, right? My perfect day and everything involved in all that. I just added some more zeros. We can just do more of it. I don't know. So that's not going to be a problem, Ralph. Not with me. Just if I need to put it out in the universe that we win the lottery, okay, whatever. But I'm not counting on it. That does not stop me. That is not where my faith is. That's not where my desire is. That's not where my imagination goes. And that's not where my persistence is. Meaning, I'm not getting up every morning getting a lottery ticket. I am getting up. And I'm persisting toward, I'm persisting in the action toward that which I have control over, which are my thoughts and my actions. I have control over that, And then I'm reminded with my friend Maria, watching her, knowing what she's been through to this point, knowing the challenges she's had and the successes. She's had great success. So it's not like it's a continuous fight every single day for this woman. It really is. She's a businesswoman. She loves to feed people. That is what she lives to do. Therefore, she has a restaurant. That is what she has. Restaurant is now completely gone. Rebuild. That's what you do, because I need to feed people.
I wasn't here when you were talking about the restaurant was gone. What happened to the restaurant?
Oh, it went up in flames.
Ooh.
Yeah, she Maria's story. Where's the link? Somebody got the link, because part of it is in the GoFundMe that she has. 4:00 Sunday morning this weekend is when it went up in flames. She started in her first restaurant here in the Louisville area in January 10th of 2000. She's had a couple of different places throughout, and she a couple months ago, not even a couple months, maybe about 2 months tops. Thank you, Tammy. She found a location and opened up again and did all the physical work of cleaning it up, painting it, had small groups of people come over, help her paint it and get it ready, and move some of her green plants in, and the restaurant next door caught fire and burnt it and hers completely gone. I mean, you can see on the GoFundMe, she has a video. You can see what there's nothing salvageable from it. So what does she do? Within, I think she got, my guess is she got the phone call about it, like 4:30 in the morning, something like that. And it was Sunday. And I can tell you that by noon Sunday, she had the GoFundMe account up, and we were hearing about how she is going to rebuild. She's got access to a kitchen to take care of her catering orders, and she's going to do this, and she's, because she wants to feed people. So there's that faith and desire, imagination, and persistence. By gosh, we're just going to get up and do this.
Some of the most beautiful sights in life are on the detours, and it's really hard. It's not comprehensible how to understand why an event like that has to happen. Excuse me, but
that's it. I gotta tell you, I would sit in it. I hope I wouldn't sit in it long, but I would sit in it. That's my first place I go, is really, I just don't want to pity party. I don't know if a fire, I don't know. Having lost, I've been in a contaminated flooding situation with the house and losing the house. Having been through that, I would respond a little differently, I know, through the loss of the house and all its innards, because I've done that, been through it. I would respond differently today, but I have a feeling that my initial response is that's it, I'm done, and it would take a while for me to come back. I would want to think that I could follow Chef Maria's example and to truly be able to bring in this everything begins with the thought right away. That's my goal, is to get me to that point. Let's put it that way.
Definitely not a master of this, but I practice. Whenever something happens, like for example, in real estate, if here's this closing I worked on, and here it's just to the point where we're ready to close, and it blows up. Years ago, I would just waddle in that misery, and since I've focusing on there's beauty in everything, and there's life detours that have the best scenery in them. And when I changed that, of starting to go down that road of woe is me, and say thank you, there's something good coming out of this. I don't know what yet, but it's coming, and have that unstoppable and that believable faith that whatever's going to happen,
because ultimately you are going to continue to serve people when it comes to finding a home or replacing their home.
My energy goes to something that's going to be positive rather than pull you down, and it's not easy to do. I'm not lose a restaurant, lose a house, lose
Yeah. And I'm not saying she's happy.
No.
She's not jumping up and down saying it's going to happen, we're going to go fund this. There's no cheerleader happening here. But
I admire her already.
That's it. It's the tenacity. It's the in spite of. That's what I'm admiring, and what I'm going to have her try to pour into me is that in spite of. You just pick yourself up and go. Yeah, she feels like crap. Yeah, she's heartbroken. She's crying while she's doing it, but she's doing it.
Yeah.
And that's the part I'm seeing, and that's the part the world sees. And hopefully that's the part everybody here sees, is that it's just happened yesterday. All right, let's go. What needs to be done? She's a solution-oriented person.
When you get punched in the stomach, sometimes you can't help but when you lose your breath, lose your wind, you may be hunched over, but the best thing to do is stand up straight and tall again and start.
So the breath can come back in. I love that too. Yeah, I just finished it out for you. So the breath can come back in.
Yeah.
You just go. And honestly, there's many, many times I know throughout my own life that that's happened. You just go. You pick it up and go. Where I'm coming in with Maria is my recollection of my having gotten into survival mode over that past year. And it was because enough was enough. It was one thing right after the other, right after the other, right after the other. And every time something happened, it was let's look at the solution. What do we need? Let's get up. Let's go. Let's get up. Let's go. And then there came a time when really, there's no get up and go. It's, the fight isn't there. The persistence is gone. And so it became just do what needs to be done. And that's where I'd gotten stuck, right? I told you this. It's where I'd gotten stuck, and then was able to eventually move my way out of it. And I got to tell you, everybody here who's been joining me these mornings since August has been a part of that finishing off the getting me through, because I was struggling with, there was still that residual, I'm still against a wall. And I'm not today.
Where your focus goes, your energy flows. And Les Brown talks about when he gets up and gives a presentation, he only gives 10% away because 90% goes back to him. Being present here and doing this program that you've created, it helps a lot of people, but it truly helps yourself.
Oh my goodness! Yes.
Because your focus is on where you're headed, where you want to go, what's your vision, what you believe in, and that's where your energy will flow. And that's every time.
Well, now, Ralph, I fully admitted at the very beginning, and I admit this to everybody now. When this started, it was all about me. It really was. It was about me. And even when everybody was showing up, I was telling you how grateful I was that you were showing up, because I needed you to show up, and they did. Now it still is about me, but honestly, one of the reasons I love getting on here is people like you, people like Brian, watching Brian share about his life and what changes are happening and how I'm seeing changes, right? And I'm seeing changes in other people. So it's when I don't quite feel like coming on, it's now more about you than it is about me, which is wonderful. Tell me that. Trust me, it's wonderful. It's wonderful.
It's nice to have that reassurance or that confirmation from people, but that's not the end all. That's
exactly.
That's no longer your major focus, And I said that what other people think of you, doesn't have to become your reality. However, being in that mastermind, being with people that gives the energy, to produce what we're looking for and keep that focus, keep that intense focus. When you have one stick of wood and you're burning one stick of wood, it doesn't get very hot. But when we put two together or more, now you've got some heat. When you start piling on the wood and you've got all this energy, all this heat, all this inspiration from, the people who are on here and share and things, that only fuels the fire and creates the heat that other people who are standing back can really be.
They can get warmed by.
Be warmed by it. Change their lives.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love it when somebody says that it has. My hope is that it simply is. It is as simple as my hope of that you come in here and you got something a little bit extra you can take in the day. Maybe a little more focus you needed, or a reminder, or the, just the acknowledgement that there's other people that want to be on a particular track during a day. They, sharing in this is how we start our day. But you get something positive out of it.
Yep.
And JP is saying the fire metaphor can be played out here. Don't we put out lots of little fires in our business journey? Yep.
Yep. But those are blessings.
They are. I'm still struggling with that one. You know I do. You know I do.
Well,
I'm glad you continue to say it, because the more I hear something, and I know it's positive, and it's the use of language, right? It's not something that I'm used to saying. So when I hear something more and more, I get more comfortable with it. And it's helping me to look at an obstacle or a problem a little differently. That's why I'm so glad you continue to say it.
And here again, I think you shared with me, sometimes people are not in the state of mind. You know,
oh, yeah.
You call that a blessing? You know.
Yeah, we're not ready to hear that just right now.
And I
wouldn't tell Maria that right now.
Well,
so I wouldn't be telling her that right now. Now, when it's all cleaned out and it looks like she's close to opening, she'll be the one. Knowing Maria, she'll be the one that'll tell you where the blessings are that came from it.
Well, that's that punch in the stomach when you're out of wind until you can stand straight back up and regain who you are and start breathing again. It's hard to realize that punch is something that's valuable, and it's that I agree totally. You know, when challenges happen, I'll be the first one to admit I don't always go, oh goody, you know.
Yeah.
But
oh look, I'm going to grow again. I have said that one.
Yeah,
I have over the years. Oh yeah, I'm going to grow from this. Woohoo!
But instead of I've trained myself, instead of going into that pity party, is to stand up. Because the quicker I stand up, Les Brown says, if you can look up, you can get up. And if I can get back and start breathing again, I know I can start moving on. And that was a detour that maybe I didn't want to take, but there's something good to learn from it.
Well, that's just it. I think that's the key, is that these are detours that happen.
Yeah.
I don't always have control over the road and path that I laid out. If I did, it would mean that I had absolutely no other person in my life, and that there wasn't anything happening in nature's laws, and that like I said, I lay the asphalt, but there's going to be wear and tear. People are going to be using the road. Somebody's going to come in with their thoughts. Somebody's not going to do what they said they were going to do. Those are, you have little speed bumps, you have big speed bumps, and you have brick walls, and sometimes that's where the take a breath and get out a different tool comes in.
Maria has built this restaurant, and now because it's gone, she's had some experience how the restaurant was laid out. So now rebuilding this restaurant, and as horrible and horrific as it is, she gets insurance money and money from this GoFundMe.
As I assume, I don't know the details on the insurance or anything. What I do know is that she's had multiple restaurants since 2000, so she knows how to navigate the local government and the local agencies. She knows how to. Had this happened, I think, with her first restaurant, I don't think she would have responded as quickly and as well as she has now.
It's a muscle built. The detours that she had been taking all her life that helps her realize that, hey,
yeah,
that's
a good way to put it. Good stuff. Hey, anybody else want to jump in and say, hey, talk about how rich or poor, it starts in the mind. We have to start with the thought. How do we think of ourselves? Do we think of ourselves filled with riches, or do we think of ourselves in poverty, that we have no hope? And that applies to more than just money, because if we think of ourselves as empty and as lacking in our spirit and in our emotions and what we have to offer the world, then we can't see how we have anything to offer to get rich with. The money's not going to come. Am I right, Ralph?
Well, those seeds that that we plant. Saturday was my birthday.
Happy birthday, my friend.
108 years old. No. 63.
Still kicking.
And I try to have a sense of humor, but like on Facebook, and thank you for getting on my first lab, and it's a totally different experience.
Yeah. And I couldn't stay. I couldn't get on or anything. I wish I could have. I'll get on next time though.
Well, please do. I'd love to have you. But I threw out there, okay, it's my birthday, but I want a birthday gift. I want a birthday gift from everyone. Mm-hmm. And that is basically to pay it forward. Tell someone you appreciate them who you need to share that you appreciate. Do a kind deed. Hold the door open. Say a kind word. Give somebody a nice tip. Just do something. That's my birthday gift. I want the universe. And my thought is, what can I do? I have 63 years, and I've got everything that I need. If I can put smiles on other people's faces, if I can change their thoughts just a little bit, it just makes the world a better place. And what better gift in life than to help make the world just a little better place? And it was interesting, the feedback, the seed that I planted there, that thought, the feedback, and different people I've talked to said, hey, I want to thank you. I did what you asked me to do for you, and it made me feel so good. So it's a ripple effect, and the seeds that we plant, we are always planting seeds. We always have that, and if you have that faith that, I can make this world a little better place, and it has to start with me. It has to start right here. I am not big enough to fight the government. Mm-hmm. They take away the labels on the origin of meat. Okay, where the meat come from. Okay, we can cry about it, or we can choose to go and purchase that product where we know where it came from.
You do like I do. I got my local butcher.
Exactly. I guess what I'm saying is, we can waddle in the stuff that's around us, going on around us, and say, "Oh my gosh, the world's such a terrible place." No, it isn't. We can.
Thank you.
We can make it what we want to make it.
And it all begins with our thought. It really does. It's what are we thinking when we're presented with something? What's our response in our mind? Because that's the culmination. That's supported by all the things we've been telling ourselves up to this point. Mm-hmm. If my first response is, well, I'm going to fight the government because I hate what they're doing and what have you, that's supported by years or months of activity and thoughts ahead of time, that auto-suggestion and everything it's been absorbing. But we can train ourselves, and this is one of my goals, is to train people to think differently, to approach problems differently, ask questions, get more information. What does that really mean?
Do you want to train them, or do you want to inspire them?
No, I want to train them. If you happen to be inspired, I'm really glad, but that's not my goal in life, to inspire anybody, because I don't know what's going. No, I want to train, because so many people don't know, and that's why I love this. That's why I love Think and Grow Rich, is we don't understand that you can train yourself to think differently. And something as simple as, I need to ask more questions. I need to ask better questions to get more information. So we could take that issue of, all right, so the federal government in the United States has removed the requirement to label where your meat comes from. But I want meat that's local. I've decided that's beyond U.S. I want local. Mm-hmm. What does that mean? Now the question, how do I find a place to purchase local meat? Do I have a local butcher? Do I have a meat locker, a processing plant close by? Do I know somebody who hunts? If you know somebody who hunts wild game, especially deer, or if you're in the South, wild boar, ask them, where do they get their meat processed? Now you've got a meat locker. They process local meats. You go check them out. Then what you can do is you think it through. Well, all right, so I've got the place where I can actually get it cut up, but I'm not going to go out and hunt it, and I'm not going to go kill it. Where am I going to get the meat? Where does meat come from? Do you have a local cattle farm? Do you have a local farmer that has a handful of beef? Go talk to them. Did you know that you can purchase a calf and you can pay a farmer to feed that calf out? And you can take that calf when it becomes a steer and full grown and take it to the meat locker and have it processed, put it in your freezer, and you've got meat for an entire year.
Yeah.
Do you know that? So those are questions, but that's how you can take thinking beyond just Kroger. Now, I'm not going to trust the meat at Kroger, but I still want meat.
Mm-hmm.
Start asking some questions and then ask the people that are related to what you come up with, right?
Yes.
Where am I going to find this information? How can I do this? Where can I go to find this? How do other people do this? And honestly, that is a value of mine, is to get as much information as possible and to teach people and train people how to think beyond what's in front of their nose, how to think before reacting, so that you're responding with better information and you're making better decisions.
I see it as a mind shift. It's a shift from, life is controlling me to me controlling life. There's things that are going to happen, but you have control. You have control over, over your life. Just because this is going on out here doesn't have to affect me. It doesn't have to have control over me.
Exactly.
My thoughts are still my thoughts. Somebody can put me in a torture chamber and torture me, but it's still my thoughts.
Can't take away my knowledge.
Also, with the meat, if the butcher or the guy that's selling the meat isn't labeling that it's local, the problem is with their marketing, not necessarily what the government does. And if the government's stopping...
Mine doesn't label local. I called where he gets the meat from.
Yeah, the one that...
I asked him, where do you get it? And he gets it from a couple of different farms that go out about 100 miles from here. And where do they get slaughtered? Local meat lockers. So that's fabulous.
Here they label it in the stores that it's Colorado grown or whatever, just to...
Yeah, there isn't that kind of labeling because he's the butcher,
Mm-hmm.
It's a local meat market. I asked him and then I called. I said, okay, great. Been doing business with him since 2006, actually.
But we can control our lives. We have that choice to either,
But we have to learn. So this is the whole point of all of this. For anybody who's sitting there doing the head scratch saying, oh, that sounds real good, but now what, right? So the whole point of all this is to understand that we can learn to think differently. That it begins with a desire to think differently. And we can apply every one of these principles on a small scale if we're doubting Thomases, of which I am one. So we can apply all of these on a small scale. Don't go big and huge. Don't go with, all right, on February 1st, 2017, I'm going to have $1 million in my bank account, and this is what we're going to do with it. And I've never thought like this before, but she says I can think myself into being something. If this is so foreign to you, don't do that to yourself. You're setting yourself up to be miserable, right? That's my thinking. Now, I could be completely off. This is all just me here. I'm just sharing my own way of how I view the world and how this works for me. So bring it down into something more manageable. For goodness sakes, even in my business, I have the 1-year goal. I've already brought it down into 90 days. And from that 90 days, I'm able to chunk it down into weekly goals that I set so that each day I'm working toward that week's goals. Because 90 days is too far out. 365 days is too far out. Too much can happen, right? Too much can happen in between. So everything that I'm doing today, and you all know I have my list sitting right here, is towards the the 90 day towards the 1 year. And as I approach the 90 day and those things are being accomplished, a new 90 day set of goals are created, and they're chunked out, because it all starts with the top. The big one I'm going for, the one that I just told you, if I won the lottery, it's just bigger. All of that's still on top, and how I'm going to be and why I want to do it. And now it's keep chunking it down. And when I get sidetracked, and you all saw that, I got into that survival mode. I got sidetracked, could not get even to the 90 day, could not get focused, could not get clear. So I reached out to other people. I mean, I pretty much knew what the problem was. I couldn't take care of the problem. I didn't have the answer. So let's go seek it out elsewhere. And I tried to, so just so those who are new, I have tried other platforms to try to get people to join me in my morning routine, and they didn't work. Blab worked. People are joining me. So
you start building that muscle. I went out and did a half marathon and into a marathon, but I first got put my big boy pants on and got up off the couch and start walking, and did that consistently. And until I started building up the muscles where I could do just a little short jog, and then a little bit longer and a little bit longer. Likewise, what you're talking about, the 90-day goals and things, the visualizing is something that is going to sound weird. He's going to think, okay, Ralph, you're way, way up. But, the law of attraction, visualizing parking spaces, start with something really small. And, my wife just starts laughing at me, and she goes, okay, we pull in the shopping center. It's about time for you to start visualizing a close parking space. And we laugh about it. But I would tell you that the majority of the time,
and then it happens.
We pull up and somebody, is pulling out or backing out of the space. And here we are, a few feet from the door. Probably I should park way on the end and walk a little bit more. But, the point of me that are sometimes running between appointments with real estate. It's like, oh my gosh, it's a 15-minute drive and I've got to be there in 15 minutes. Sometimes years in the past, I would think, oh my gosh, I'm going to be late. And sure enough, you get behind somebody driving very slow and you arrive a few minutes late. But now I've changed that focus of, hey, I'm going to be right on time. And, I know it sounds way out there, but humor me, try it.
That's all what this is all about, Ralph. You're not into woo-woo land.
Yeah, I mean, it's phenomenal, and when you start mastering those, you keep building like that running. You do your 90-day plan, and maybe to look at just a week or 30 days and keep building and building and building.
Well, yeah. See, that was survival mode. Survival mode was daily. I could have set a week goal. I could have. And sometimes I did, but it was like, I can't think that far ahead. I just got to get through today. Yeah. I just got to be able to do what's in front of me right now. That's it. All right. So we are at the top of the hour. So for the recording purposes, I want to conclude the recording part. I can keep the room open for about 30 minutes. JP shared this that I want to share with everybody as the final thought, which is don't settle for a concluding thought unless it is clear, positive, and productive. I like that. Mm-hmm. I like that. So thank you, JP. I want to thank everybody who's joined me in the live stream, Ralph and Brian. Pleasure to see you. And those in the comment section, thank you for your contributions there. It's been good. It's been good. Thank you for your concern about Chef Maria. Go learn more. There's links in the comment area to go check out what my friend, Chef Maria Bell, has just recently been through and what she has done in response to a tragedy, a big roadblock, what she has done. Those who've joined me on the recording, thank you. Thank you for hanging with us this long. This is Charlene Burke with Grow Because You Know. That's www.growbecauseyouknow.com. Let's move forward with the day on purpose, with purpose, to grow our hearts, grow our minds, and grow our businesses. Until next time, have a great day.